welcome to my next video in W98. Okay, we got Spring Stampede coming up. We start off with Ultimo Dragon taking on Prince Iaukea and beating Prince Iaukea. We go to TV title, Steiner taking on Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Steiner beats the Anvil clean. Then we got the Four Horsemen, represented by Benoit and Malenko, taking on the Harlem Heat. Benoit manages to get the crippler crossface on Stevie Ray, but Malenko prevents Booker T from getting the prevents him from going in for the save. So yeah, but after the match, after you see that the Malenko and Benoit are leaving with the tag belts, Stevie Ray gets up and is like shaking his head and then pushes Booker T away after he's trying to say, "Hey, look, we'll get him next time," and that. But you could see he's supremely ticked off. Then we continue on US title under Raven's rules. Raven taking on Rick Steiner. Raven wins clean after an evenflow DVT on the steel chair. Lex Luger teaming up with the Giant and the Macho Man and Randy Savage taking on the Outsiders. The Outsiders and Konnan managed to win this one after they pin Macho Man. Same story again. Kevin Nash does the jackknife on Macho Man and gets the win. Goldberg taking on... Oh, wait. Sorry. First we have Roddy Piper taking on Ric Flair. I'd have Piper win this after his comeback. Goldberg versus Curt Hennig with Rick Rude in his corner. Goldberg wins. The streak continues. Then we have our world title match, Sting versus Bret Hart. Sting wins after he counters out of a Russian leg sweep by Bret Hart into a Scorpion Death Drop. Sting gets to win, celebrates, and keeps going on. Nitro afterwards. The NWO come out to celebrate their 2 wins last night. But Kevin Nash is clearly ticked off Curt Hennig for not getting his win. And says, "Hey, you better show me something tonight when you take on Roddy Piper." Okay, we go from there. Kidman taking on Psychosis. Kidman gets the win. You'll see what that happens later on. Bret Hart comes out and asks for a rematch against Sting. But on his terms, he says this time it's going to be a submission match. Sting comes out and agrees and says, "Hey, no problem. I have no problem facing you and defeating you this time with the Scorpion Deathlock." Bret replies, "Hey, I've got no problem coming out and beating you with the Sharpshooter." Alright, we continue on. The Giant has like a semi-revenge match against a member of the NWO, Konnan. The Giant manages to come out and chokeslam the hell out, beats Konnan pretty quickly. Following that, Mean Gene comes out and says, "Hey, last night the Harlem Heat got a loss, but there seem to be some problems." He comes out, Stevie Ray comes out with, and says, "Hey, I got a plan to get us back on the right track. I'm going to be taking on Goldberg at Slamboree, and I'm going to end the streak at Slamboree." After that, Goldberg comes out and has his match against Eddie Guerrero. He beats Eddie Guerrero pretty quickly. The streak continues. DDP taking on Buff the Stuff Bagwell with Scott Norton in his corner. Well, let's just say DDP doesn't manage to get a win here because of Scott Norton's interference. Then we have our main event of the evening. Roddy Piper with Ric Flair in his corner. taking on Curt Hennig with Rick Rude in his corner. I'd say this ends pretty much in a smiles, but Curt Hennig manages to get the perfect plex on Roddy Piper and gets the win, I'd say, in this. Well, thank you for listening. This was a pretty quick video this time. Stay tuned. I believe next month we have Slamboree, so stay tuned for that.